Blake Production.
Guys, so I'm going to take some time to break down Bittensor strictly from a technical perspective. So there's two charts I like to look at when I'm looking at the technicals on Bittensor. One is the Tau USDT from BitGet, and this is all on TradingView, by the way. So I like to use the BitGet chart, and I also like to use the Coinbase chart. And I'm going to be swapping in between the two just to get a better idea of what's happening from a daily, weekly, monthly, kind of shorter and long-term perspective. So let's get right into it here, right? The BitGet chart, Tau USDT, the reason why I love this so much, it gives us a little bit more price data from back into 2023. When we look at Coinbase, they only show 2025, right? So this previous price data is useful. And first things first that I see with the BitGet chart is that we have this, it's essentially the first two waves of the Elliott wave theory, the 5-wave Elliott wave theory. So we have our wave 1 strong move, and then we spend 2 years consolidating. Okay, our wave 2 consolidation is very structured. What is, like, it's so interesting. Why is this such a perfect wedge? That is the market telling you there is some serious accumulation happening in this range. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this perfect support line. There wouldn't be this perfect resistance where you see people selling and then you see people buying. And it repeatedly has happened over the past 2 years. This is the market's body language telling you there is some strong conviction holders that are accumulating this asset, and it's showing you that in a perfect wedge. That's all the technicals are telling you. So this is the wave 2 consolidation period. What we're expecting is a strong move in the coming years. This, all I'm going to do is put a 45-degree angle up and to the right. That's going to be our wave 3. We're going to have a correction, wave 4 correction, and then a wave 5. It doesn't really matter. We're focused on this move right here. This move, and again, it might not be a 45 degree. Maybe it looks like this. Maybe it looks like the 45 degree. This is the idea we have here. There's about to be a wave 3 expansion, okay? I'm no Houdini. I don't know what is going to happen or what it's exactly going to look like. But I could use this Elliott wave theory to get me a better understanding of what should I be looking for with Bittensor in the coming years. So that's why I like to use the BitGet for the BitGet chart for the longer term kind of bullish thesis here. When I go into, the Coinbase chart, I get to see in my opinion, a better understanding of what's going on from the day to day, right? And all we're really seeing here, right? If we look back from October, we had the 10-10 date where we wicked out all the way down to 200 and then right back up in that same day. After that, we rallied, right? Rallied another 80%. Look at this channel. Perfect channel. But like, I need you to open your eyes further to what could potentially be developing under this 300 290 range. Okay, yes, we have this clean channel downward, and it looks like here we finally got our breakout on some serious volume. Okay, beautiful. This is like, we love to see this. We break out right into this resistance zone. Okay, and what I'm starting to notice now here with Bittensor is we're starting to see this left shoulder develop, the head. You could look at it like that. And now what I'm expecting is there to be some form of a pullback to happen within this next few weeks. Okay. Now, how far is it going to pull back? I don't know. It depends on the strength of the buyers. We're already showing signs that this $300 zone is resistance, right? So we could expect, yes, we could get a pullback here, and we likely will. The reason why I'm expecting that is because when we look at this channel, this is like the perfect characteristic of a downtrend. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We come back up into resistance, create that it's still technically a lower high, or we haven't broken the previous high, and we continue to make a lower low. Now, if this downtrend were to continue, what we would be looking for is, again, a lower high and then a continuation. That did not happen. What is that telling us? It's telling us that the characteristics of this downtrend since November, which is November, December, January, February. It's just now March. The past few days is when we first got the breakout. Let's call it a 5-month downtrend, has finally shown us its first form of the characteristics changing. This is very important to understand. That's why I'm expecting there to be a higher low somewhere in this range. Okay, so that's what we're essentially looking for. Now, when we have this, I already pointed it out to you guys. High, low, lower high, right? Oh no, it's common sense. Yes. We have this low, we come back up, we make a lower high, but now we made the first higher low that we've been looking for 5 months. That is telling you buyers are stepping in here. The demand is flipping, right? The buyers are so strong that we're now outweighing the sellers down at this area. So we create a higher low right around this area, the first higher low in 5 months. We get the breakout move. Now it's the first higher high. So now this trend is now switching to an uptrend. Well, because it's an uptrend, what could we be looking for? A higher low. So this is the simple thing that we're going to be looking for. Now, the strength of buyers is going to determine how far low do we go. Do we retrace and backtest 200 to make sure that that area is support? It's a very strong possibility that that could happen. So I want to be prepared for that. I want to mark out this zone right here, and because it was acting as a resistance, and I want to make myself aware of the possibility that we could come into this range. If the buyers are still extremely strong, then maybe this right shoulder, again, let me delete some of this out of the way now that you guys are getting a better idea of what I'm talking about. This right shoulder that's going to be developing, what we need to pay attention to is it going to be some sort of a bull flag? Is it going to be a wedge? How far is it going to pull back? The buyers are going to determine how low are we going to let this go, right? So what I'm going to be looking for is this next period of consolidation. It will tell us how strong is Bittensor right now. So it's a cool thing that we could kind of pay attention to. We're now expecting that this right shoulder is going to eventually play out. So here's our neckline. Again, we have our left shoulder over here. We have our head right around this area. And our right shoulder is now about to play out, right? This is the pattern here. Now, this is a pretty strong pattern that we could use that's going to bring us a lot higher. Okay, the whole thesis behind the head and shoulders is you're going to get a breakout move that's at least the size of the head to the right shoulder. So we could expect that there's going to be a move somewhere like this towards our all-time highs right after we finish developing this right shoulder here. So that's a more in-depth look at what I'm looking at with Bittensor. Okay, it might look like this, where we have this nice bullish flag or wedge right back into this kind of 200 to 230 range. That would be, again, when you're thinking about it longer term, right? Let's match it back to our thesis. Buying in this range here, again, just adds to what I've been saying in the past few months. Like this area right here, could be a massive golden accumulation window where we might never see these prices again when you're thinking 2, 4, 6, 10, 15 years out. You might look like an absolute genius for buying Bittensor around these levels. So that's the technical breakdown. I hope this helped educate you a little bit more on, what I'm looking at the charts, because I've noticed I'm starting to see there's a lot of people who hate the charts, but you could use it as a tool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown.